Are you a Green Bay Packers fan? If yes, you are in the right channel. Before watching the video, I ask you to please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thank you. 5 draft mistakes to blame for Packers struggles in 2023. Which NFL draft mistakes are hurting the Green Bay Packers the most in 2023? No NFL general manager bats 1.000 when it comes to the NFL draft, and as well as Green Bay Packers GM Brian Gutekunst has done in recent years, he's not immune from making mistakes, by any means. As a matter of fact, Gutekunst has made some NFL draft decisions that you could argue are significantly hurting this Packers team in 2023. It's always torture to look back at the NFL draft with perfect 2020's hindsight vision, but it's also interesting to think about what could have been. Let's take a look at a handful of bad mistakes made by Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur that are hurting the team in 2023. 1. Amari Rodgers over Amon-Ra St. Brown, 2021. Again, take some of these with a grain of salt. It's definitely easy to look back at a draft class, take a look at your worst picks, and find the players who were taken shortly after that at the same position who have done well in the NFL. It's not always purely about scouting, but it's also about fit and situation as well. The Packers took Amari Rodgers out of Clemson in the 2021 NFL Draft with the 85th overall pick before guys like Nico Collins and Anthony Schwartz there in round 3, but it wasn't until the Detroit Lions pick came around in the 4th round that this one became torturous. The Lions selected Amon-Ra St. Brown with the 112th overall pick, and he's quickly become one of the best possession receivers in the league. He has 253 catches and counting in his first 3 NFL seasons, while Amari Rodgers is no longer even on the Packers roster. Finding a gem like St. Brown could have helped the Packers avoid spending about $1 million picks on the wide receiver position over the last 2 draft classes. 2. Josh Myers over Creed Humphrey, 2021. These two are pretty easy to compare because they were literally 1 pick apart in the 2021 NFL Draft. The Packers needed help on the interior offensive line at the center position, and they targeted Ohio State's Josh Myers with the 62nd overall pick at the back end of round 2. It wasn't an ill-advised selection, but the decision to pass on Oklahoma center Creed Humphrey may have been ill-advised, if not worse. It might have been just plain, bad execution on the Packers' part. Humphrey was pegged for most of that offseason by NFL draft pundits as a possible first-round selection. He was absolutely outstanding in his time at Oklahoma, and when he began his inexplicable fall in the 2021 NFL Draft, it was one of the more shocking developments of the weekend. But it wasn't the Packers who would end his fall, it was the offensive line-needy Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs inserted Humphrey into their starting lineup, and he immediately became one of the best centers in the league. He's already been named an All-Pro. Josh Myers is coming around for the Packers, but this one didn't need to be that hard. 3. Jordan Love over Jalen Hurts, 2020. I know. No one saw this one coming, right? Nobody had Jalen Hurts over Jordan Love on their 2020 NFL Draft big board, at least nobody who was making enough of a stink about it to change anyone's mind. Jalen Hurts had a huge season in 2019 with the Oklahoma Sooners, rehabbing his NFL draft value in a big way after being benched for Tua Tagovailoa at Alabama, sitting for a year, and transferring out. Hurts improved himself tremendously as a passer under Lincoln Riley at Alabama, but the jury was still very much out on his NFL projection. Even though the Packers couldn't have seen Hurts developing so quickly in Philadelphia, perhaps the smarter play that offseason would have been to go a different direction in round 1, like drafting T. Higgins for Aaron Rodgers, and then taking a shot on someone like Jalen Hurts in round 2. A lot of drama could have been avoided, right? Well, what's done is done. The Packers were convinced about Jordan Love, not just about taking a quarterback. We now know, however, that whole process was really poorly executed overall. 4. Jay Sternberger over Terry McLaurin, 2019. The Green Bay Packers took a shot on Jay Sternberger in the 3rd round of the 2019 NFL Draft after he had a tremendous final season with Texas A&M, but their faith in the one-year wonder was ill-advised. Sternberger has turned out to be one of the bigger NFL draft busts for the Packers in recent memory, which speaks to how good they have drafted because he was a 3rd-round dart throw, but it's crazy that Terry McLaurin went just 1 selection after this, picks 75 and 76, respectively. Sternberger has been fighting to keep his NFL dream alive as of late, while Terry McLaurin has clearly established himself as one of the best wide receivers in the NFL and earned a big second contract with the Washington Commanders. The Packers came away from the 2019 NFL Draft with both Rashawn Gary and Elgton Jenkins, so they're not complaining too much, but this class could have been otherworldly. Imagine Terry McLaurin paired up with Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers throwing the passes during 2 straight MVP seasons. 5. Lucas Van Ness over variety of options, 2023. Let's not count too many chickens before they hatch, but also, let's not ignore the fact that the Green Bay Packers ignored way more pressing areas in the 2023 NFL Draft in order to select Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa for their defensive front. Pass rush is critical in the NFL. I won't ever knock a team for going after guys that can be difference makers in that area. But the Packers also lacked clarity at the receiver position going into the 2023 NFL Draft, and they could have used a long-term option at the left tackle position. The Pittsburgh Steelers snatched up Broderick Jones out of Georgia right after the Packers took Lucas Van Ness with the 13th overall selection. A handful of picks later, the Minnesota Vikings took Jordan Addison out of USC, who was having an outstanding rookie season for a division rival. The Packers' refusal to take offensive skill players in the first round of the NFL Draft is staggering at this point. They took Christian Watson early last year and they did go after Jayden Reed in the second round of the 2023 NFL Draft, but did they put too much faith in Watson and Romeo Dew? The Packers could have a group right now of Watson, Dew, Addison, and Reed if they wanted, and they could have gone after a pass rusher in the slot where they took Tucker Kraft. Please like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I update you with the news in the next video. Bye.